Your participation is important.
All remember 9/11, the day when a tragic incident happened. And of course, that was in the US. And we all remember how many lives were lost. And we still continue to say all the lives that were lost in that 9/11 catastrophe, may their souls continue to rest in peace. Once again, this is the edition of the Burning Issue. We are grateful that you found time to tune in. We are live not only here in Lusaka on 89.9 and the surrounding areas, but we are also live on our various platforms, our partner radio stations, starting with Katete FM in Katete, covering literally the entire Eastern Province on 103.3, and here in Lusaka 89.9, here on 5FM radio and the surrounding areas. Central Province is well catered for. In Kabul, live on Spice FM on 91.1, and not getting Kapirim Poshi, and of course the Central Province also is covered by ZFM. We are live on ZFM 100.3 FM. Copper Belt is well catered for. We are live on Platinum Radio on 99.7, and of course that is in Ndola, and iWave FM radio 90.1 in Chungola, covering the rest of the Copper Belt as well. And also Wapula is well covered for. We are live in Mwanza on Tuta FM 90.7, and Tuta FM covers the rest of the Wapula province. Muchinga Radio is covering Muchinga province. It's in Chinsali on 88.1. We are live as well on Muchinga Radio. Not forgetting our Facebook page. We are live on 5FM Radio Zambia, including our YouTube channel as well. Look out for it. It's 5FM Radio Zambia. And of course, for our Facebook audience, please leave us a comment, share the page, and we'll be looking forward to reading your comments this morning. Let me take this opportunity to say I'm Zachariah Banda, your host. And my guest today is Mr. Antonio Mwanza. He is the president of the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP. It's a party that was launched officially yesterday. Grateful to see you. Welcome to the Burning Issue.
Thank you so much, Vazria, and congratulations to 5FM Radio. I didn't realize that it has continued to grow. Now we are in all these platforms.
Yes.
This is a strength, and we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We wish you the very best as an institution.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so yesterday was a big day for the party, and finally it was launched. Tell us the journey.
Wow. It's not easy.
Yeah.
The process of the registration of a political party is not an easy process.
Mm.
It has taken us over 1 year to have our party registered and to have the certificate.
Mm.
But also, what is even not easy is the work ahead.
Right.
It is the expectations of the millions of Zambians that are seeing hope in this Democratic Progressive Party as a platform that all those voices that are opposing the current status quo can use. And that magnanimity of the task ahead is what is more humbling. Because the fact of the matter is that the people of Zambia who do not agree with what is happening today have always been looking for a voice and a platform they can use. So the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, being each panicha won't say, gives us more responsibility, and with more responsibility comes a lot of challenges and pressure. From the time that we launched yesterday, we have not been able even to sleep for 2 hours. The calls that are coming from across the country for the people that watched the launch, the calls that are coming from different people that want to be part and parcel of this movement, the calls that are coming from people that want to contribute their time, their resources, their strategy is overwhelming.
Mm.
But also the challenges that come with mobilizing a political party, especially in an environment like ours, where democratic space is shrinking, where expressing yourself is always synonymous with sentencing yourself with seditious crimes, seditious charges, or cyber crimes. And when you are dealing with a regime and a leadership that doesn't want to be criticized, that believe that they are gods and that all of us are their servants and must be praising them and worshiping them even when things are going wrong, when you are dealing with people that are intolerant to divergent views and they take criticism as hatred and they take criticism as bitterness, it is very difficult. So we know the journey won't be easy. We know there will be times when we'll feel overburdened. But the hope of the Zambian people in finding a home that can liberate them from the shackles of the economy is what drives us. So every single day we shall live, we shall walk, we shall run, we shall fight for a better Zambia. So it's a challenge that we are equal to, and we are overwhelmed by the support we are getting. And we hope and pray that God Almighty give us the knowledge, the wisdom, because that is critical, and that He'll give us the health, because we will travel the breadth of this country and will knock on doors, and it takes a lot of toll on your body. So we pray to God that He'll give us health and He'll give us wisdom to know how to be useful to the Zambian people and to provide the leadership that Zambian people are looking forward to.
Now, the burning question that always comes when you hear someone has launched a political party is resources. How do you intend to fund your political party? Are there funders out there? Because you know that all the time this has been the talk. And when we hear there are funders, we know that those funders will come and priority should you get into government. What is the status quo with regards to that?
Yeah, so you have rightly put it. One of the key challenges that political parties have is who funds them.
Right.
Because he who pays the piper calls the tune. We are very radical in our approach. We are very clear as DPP that this country cannot be developed by foreigners or foreign influence or foreign resource. That is our strong guiding principle. And therefore, we are not interested in taking money from anybody who will put conditions that are inimical to the interests of the Zambian people and to the interest of the Democratic Progressive Party as a party that wants to liberate the Zambian people from the economic shackles. Ours is the economy. So everything about DPP will be about the economy, and good governance. Our funding will come from Zambians. Everything we have done is coming from our own pockets and our colleagues that believe that we can do better than what we are today. But Zach, those people who believe that 2 hours of electricity a day, that people having 21 hours, 23 hours kulibe malaiti, those wamene bamvera kubaba na load shedding bachosa ndalama. Bazimayi bamene bavutika kusakira vodyesa abana. Bazimayi bamene bazunguluka usiku na mzuva na basket pamutu. Those are making their sacrifice and they are contributing their own money. Ourselves, we're using every personal resources we have amongst our teams to raise the money and do the work. And the students across this country, those that believe that sumungangale ku school ndio mwana wa school and you don't have power for 21 hours in a day, you can't charge your phone, you can't charge your laptop, you can't study, you can't research. All those have come on board and they are contributing their time, their resource, their prayers, their hopes, and they are raising our morale and our aspiration for greater heights. When we were coming up, we met different people. And just Papans, somebody has given me a 50 kwacha. Somebody was just walking on the road, somebody I don't even know. Abwera Mwanza mairo ninaona mnachita launch party bamene munakamba vinamveka, tavutika, njala makomboni, kulibe ntchito, vikwati makomboni vasira, vana vaonongeka. Iyi 50 kwacha, muguleko talk time, mutikambireko. So we will be financed by ourselves, and we are financing ourselves, and we'll be financed by all Zambians that believe that we can make Zambia a better place. And that's our source of financing. We don't need money from anybody else. We will get money from ourselves, and all those that believe in a better Zambia will give us their resource.
Let's talk about the party now starting to make baby steps. And the baby steps, we're talking structures. Tell us a bit about the structures of the party this far. I mean, is this a situation where you are now beginning to create structures? Have you been creating structures? What's the status?
So, Zach, you are very alive to the fact that for so long, Zambians have come to a conclusion that His Excellency President Hakainde Sami Hichilema has failed. There's no debate about it. Zambians have concluded that we are worse off today than we were 4 years ago. Zambians have concluded that vakudya vadula, unga wadula, sopo ya dula, cooking oil ya dula, transport ya dula, rent ya dula. Zambians have agreed that we are more divided today than we were 4 years ago. Zambians have agreed that this was a terrible blunder. They had hope, but that hope has been dashed. So there is Zambians have made up their mind that they can't continue with the current status. They want change. That is everywhere. The second phenomenon is that Zambians have also agreed that they want opposition that will stick to issues, that will give them hope, that will talk about the problems they face as communities, as individuals, as families. And this is exactly what the Democratic Progressive Party is doing. We want to deal with the issues affecting the Zambian people. Ours will be on issues, on issues, on issues. And we know that the government will not take light to us. But we are here, and they have to face us. So we will concentrate on the issues affecting the Zambian people. And those things will speak without fear, and we will speak with our hearts open, our minds open, our ears open, because we believe that Zambia can do better than this. So we are simply providing a platform of all those Zambians that don't believe in UPND and what is happening. Those Zambians that are frustrated, that don't have jobs, this is their platform. So in terms of structures, I can confess here that we have people from UPND who are dissatisfied. My youths work with UPND. Bazimai UPND, who are dissatisfied with UPND. Vanavotera UPND, vanzosapota UPND, but 4 years yapita, palibe vili vose vamene vaonamo. Malaiti ya dula, mashito kulibe, empowerment kulibe, mziko mulibe kugwirizana, unity ya sida, mulikapatulula, mulichimfulunganyo, bamu UPND bazimai na mayouths, they are part of the DPP. There are political parties that have been disturbed by government, Mingalato, and they have been disturbed. Their leadership is in court, is in disarray, and they don't know. All those are part of the DPP. So the DPP has become a party for everybody who does not agree with what is going on. Anybody, a student who cannot have access to a bursary, and the government does not care to provide that bursary, to provide that scholarship, is a member of the DPP. That's why our slogan is Chabonse. Bashtata, Banamayo, Imisepera, Pantansh. So even in the last 1 year, we've been dealing with the issues of registration. We were working with different people from different walks of life as far as structures are concerned. So even now that we've launched, we are here in Lusaka just for this week. We are starting a nationwide tour next week. So you can see, we are not new. It would have been difficult, Zach, if we were looking at a situation where musakira bantu, but bantu basakira ma voices, bantu basakira sogoleri, bantu basakira mundu, amina azayimirira, and deal with these problems, because vantu vavutika. What people are going through in a country that has got too much doesn't make sense. Vazaki sungazuka 02 02 just isheti kuti nichise na uka 02 malaiti yabwera 02 yaenda 04 02 ni pamene uchisa 02 madamu ni pamene afaka ndiyo pamuliro kuti apike, because aziva kuti by 04 chimalaiti yaenda 02 ni pamene muyasha mambaula kufundisa manzi kuti vana vabwere vasambe pa 06, because you know that by 04 machimalaiti yaenda. No, we can do better than this. Vazaki, we were promised that there will be no load shedding. In fact, not only was there His Excellency, our President Hakainde Sami Hichilema, even declared load shedding as over. Wanakamba President, tatiza load shedding. Tabaishiba umutengo wa malaiti, tabaiba umutengo wa mafuta. Because he say, vantu vovutika, we give our politicians everything. And this is the reason why we have Namibia and Botswana. We are speaking right now on radio, and Namibia's industries are moving. They are creating jobs for their people. Namibia is creating business opportunities for their people using malaiti ya Zambia. Botswana is creating jobs for their people. They are taking children to school. They are developing their country using malaiti ya Zambia. Sure, mungakaina boma yamenegulisa malaiti ku Botswana na ku Namibia. No, siya Zambia ilibe malaiti for 21 hours a day. The economy has totally collapsed. If you run a salon, you run a barber shop, if you are into the industry, I had an opportunity last week to meet some millers. Banadandaula that in a day they are using up to 16 drums of diesel a day. Kugaya miris. Those companies that you see, big companies that are manufacturing, they are closing because they have to use millions of kwachas on alternative energy. Bafunika diesel, bafunika genset, and these things are expensive. My farmers, those who are into curing, those farmers, processing of agro things, my businesses yaonongeka. Muno mtauni mtauni mwentiriri. My buildings yambiri are empty. Mukaimwende pa Zedara paja. Mwamba kuyenda from Zedara up to Kafiwe roundabout. My buildings yambiri are from town because people could not afford to pay rentals. And people are asking, where is our government? Sure, 21 hours per day, mulibe malaiti, but malaiti mulinayo mugulisa mpasa ma foreigners. You know, Vazaki, Chibaba, when you are a Zambian, that you can go to any shopping mall today, and all these shopping malls are owned by foreigners. All the money that we spend in these shopping malls are being taken, siphoned away, going to South Africa, going to India, going as far as Brazil. And our own people are not given an opportunity. The small scale and medium scale businesses are not given an opportunity to thrive because, one, they don't have capital. Then they can't get loans because they'll be asking them for collateral. Not only that, the loan amounts are too high in terms of the rates that they're charging. You can't have a loan which is going up to people that are coming to set up businesses here, to set up industries here, where they are coming from, they are given capital by their governments to come and set up these industries, these businesses here in Zambia. And they are making money and taking that money out. Look at the status. Yamasivos run the government. They are the ones that provide the much needed technical support for the government. They are technocrats. But if you look at the status of the civil servants, they have been neglected because they are one of the most overburdened actually group of workers in terms of loans. There are civil servant. If you look at the payslip of civil servant, investment fund, microfinance banyememo, mabanki banyememo, momenomo, bakaloba yakumanja banyememo, momenomo. And these people are the ones that we expect that to provide that technical support. How can they work? How can they commit themselves if they are demoralized, if they are unable to take their children to school, able to meet their daily needs? Today manyumba tingala tingala one side because tewambiri tina marias ma landlord. You are running Kantemba kulibe business. If you drive all the way from Silver Rest kuboda kufika mtown, iboma yawakaende chidema vanaenda kupwanya. But let's be honest, what level of sanity can we talk about when we are taking away the livelihoods of the people? Tipoka vantu pamene vasungira vana mwapwanya vose ntemba za vantu mwabwerana manyumba mungala maikoni maairconi mwangala manyumba mamanshoni but mwapwanya ntemba za vantu in a country where 80% of the people, 80% of the Zambians are in the informal sector. That is not employment. Ni mapiece work. Muziwa mu informal sector ni tamanga. Ni hand to mouth. Madam kuliko 50 kwa chayo. Uzagulako informal sector. Wagulisa ko tuma talk time, wagulisa ko kwacha, bagula ndiyo, bagula kapamera, bana badi. Ukadwala bazaki nishikwasira. Palibe vilivyoso vinauza vizachitika. Tiyo pano yopa ukadwala uziva tingati nadwala nishikwasira bana swazadi. So our people are on the streets, they have no jobs. 80% of them are on the streets, they have no jobs. And you as a government can go ahead, mutenga tuntemba mupanya, and you allow foreigners to take over. Today as we are speaking, my foreigners, ndiye bene mama shop. My foreigners, ndiye bene mama businesses. So we have a government that doesn't care about anyone. I was at Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia, Kukafue, last week. I went to that plant. I had an opportunity to meet somebody who has worked there at the very highest level of command. And he said in Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia, you know why? We are spending about $450 million every 12 months kugula fertilizer to pay the fertilizer suppliers. Who are fertilizer suppliers? Bamwenye na Machinese. $50 million every 12 months could provide fertilizer. When you can use this amount by prefixing Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia with the latest technology, latest equipment, and you'll be able to produce fertilizer and save up to $300 million every year. That $300 million, that is the money that you can use to inject into industrialization. You can go into agro-processing and you can create jobs for the young people. Just 2-3 months ago, Iboma inachita suspend or expel export duty on precious metals, precious minerals, emerald to be specific. Now, we have got 3 emerald companies in Zambia. Na Kajemu, tina Chantete, tina Grizzly. Okay? Who owns these? If you look at Chantete, yes, we say, okay, Zambian owned, but you know that it is not truly a local company. It's done by people that have come out of this country. They are the owners of these companies. Kajemu is a foreign-owned company. It's the biggest mining company of emeralds. And you give them 10% export duties free. We are losing $150 million, $150 million every 12 months from this statutory instrument being signed by this government. Imagine what we can do with $150 million. $150 million, tingamange ma market, tingamange ma school, tingachite invest mu vigayo, tingachite invest mu agro processing, tingachite invest mu industrialization and create jobs for young people. That is not happening. Tiende kuma mine, because aba bantu bakonda mani ngamba vapa mapepa. If you look at the GDP, and I heard the president, His Excellency President Hakainde Sami Chilema na Mamsokotwane, wakamba Zambia shall grow by 6.8%. Why is it that under UPND, poverty is going up? While they're telling us the figures that we're doing well as a country, poverty levels are going up. Today, rural poverty, yafika on average 70.3%. Meaning that on average, 7 out of 10 people that you find in the rural area are poor. Bakangiwa kupeza vakudia, balibe nyumba, balibe manzi, balibe malaiti. In other provinces, our poverty levels have gone up to 87% in a province, meaning that 8 out of 10 people in that province are poor. Now, this government talks about we have got 6.8% GDP. They talk about foreign direct investment. They talk about the IMF. These three things. Bazaki, our GDP is run by the following industries: mining, construction, telecommunication, and manufacturing, trade, and wholesale. Now, mining, which accounts for over 70% of our entire foreign exchange earnings, is in the hands of foreigners. Ndalama zonse zamene zichoka ku mining, ndalama zonse zija zienda manja mwa foreigners. Ise vametisala navo ni migodi, vametisala navo ni pollution, vametisala navo ni matenda, vametisala navo ni machange. Mamaini zonse ndalama zamene they are taking this money, it is going out. And yet on paper it reflects that they are contributing up to 70% of our export earnings. On paper, they are contributing 15% to the GDP, which is a mismatch to the amount of money they are making. Mining sector alone, we are losing up to $4 billion US every year, 12 months, $4 billion US. Transfer pricing, tax evasion, creative accounting, and the government has failed to put up mechanisms to stop this. On top of that, we have some VAT refund. On top of that, we have some tax holidays. So this government has just given away our minerals. Kupasa ma foreigners zitengani mukazichaya vantu vatu vazambovutika socha bazilongo vase wenzako atenga kuti ma 2 pin to ma 3 pin kwa sira, but the foreigners migodi ni yanu, gold ni yanu, copper ni yanu, sugilite ni yanu, lithium ni yanu, kazitengani. And we as Democratic Progressive Party, we are saying no. Once we form government, our benchmark will be 51% of all ownership of the mines shall go to the Zambian people. Zambians must own the majority shareholding. The benchmark is 51% going up. And we shall not allow any foreign company, no matter how big they are, we shall not allow them to own majority shares, because these minerals must benefit us. Under the Democratic Progressive Party, Vazak, Tifuna, no exports of raw copper. There's no one who's going to get copper and sell it as copper cathodes. That will not allow. We want copper to be processed here. That way we will make jobs, create jobs for our young people. They'll be working in these factories to manufacture and process and create different products. And then if we do that, we can sell these products at a higher level, at a higher value, and we have more money back in the country. That's the way you fight inflation, not even never cheater. Because how they are fighting inflation, according to UPND, is to squeeze liquidity. So they have raised the statutory reserve ratio. They have raised the monetary policy to squeeze liquidity, kutosa ndrama mu economy, to manage the inflation. But that is reflecting very badly on people, because that simply means that circulation, bantu bali bendarama. And this you can tell. You can go anywhere Wazaki, tili town. Mungafunse nangu 100 people, kambira pa Zedara paja. Muenda Namendo, mufunsa 100 people lelo, alina 500 kwacha mufoni. You'll be lucky to find bantu babiri wana 500 kwacha mufoni. If bambiri pano pametikamba tichina mafoni, mafikiriza, majumo, because there's no money in circulation, there's no production going on. Ndalama zonse mechoka ku mining, zienda ma foreigners batika. I talked about construction as one of the major contributors to our GDP. When they talk about 6.8% GDP, construction, like any building that is being constructed, any road that is being constructed today, everything that is being made today, whenever you construct, as long as it's a big contract, tenga ma contract and ma foreigners. Either ni aba mwenye, ma Chinese, ndio wapanga ma dual carriageway, ndio wapanga ma road ya makomboni. All these contracts have been given to foreigners. And those foreigners are getting the money out of this country and they're leaving nothing. We as Democratic Progressive believe that those contracts must go to Zambian-owned companies. Zambian-owned companies are the only way that we can create jobs. If we give them contracts, we give contracts to our own companies, we'll be able to get the much needed jobs, and right here in Zambia. That is the money that we can use to build this country, to build the industry in this country. That money is going out. The other one is telecommunication. I'm saying this because we have been told the economy is growing, yet poverty levels are going up. The prices of goods are going up. The cost of doing business is going up. Fuel is going up. Malaita, everything is going up, but they're telling us the economy is growing. Why? It's because we don't have access to our own resources. We don't have control of our own resources. And if you look telecommunication, tina companies ya tatu, MTN, Airtel, na Zamtel.
Zamtel. Z Mobile now.
Oh, Z Mobile. Aba ngono maningi ni bana aba. Aba nchimozi na aba Zamtel. They have got a very small market share. Ma companies ni MTN na Airtel. Airtel ni ama mwenye. MTN ni ama South Africans. So every day we do mobile banking. Mwatuma ndalama, mwakongola ndalama, mwachitarisivu ndalama, zonse za ndalama za metituma every single day. Zienda ku India, zienda ku South Africa. There is nothing that remains in this country because this contributes over 8% to the GDP, and yet we have no control. We need to have our own companies that can run the telecommunication. It's not even safe for a country to leave such strategic assets like telecommunication, 5G broadband to foreign entities. It's not even safe. Look at the next wholesale and trading. Tientiendo kamwala. Mashop ya kuru ni yama foreigners wamwenye. Bantu batu is either titamangamene mu street or tinatuntemba tungono makomboni or tumastandi ku city market ku Soweto komene capital yatu maybe ni ma 5 zari ma 1 pini tigulisa tumameda tumameda twa b. But the huge wholesale thing, if you want to talk about clothes, about jewelry, about anything, wholesale shops are run by foreigners. Yes, some of them are Zambians. By now, they have become Zambians. But many of them are foreign owned. So wholesale trading end up with foreigners. The other one is tourism. Mkaende ku Livingstone, mkaende ku Siavonga, my lodges, the biggest lodges, most expensive lodges, luxurious lodges are run by foreigners. So literally as a country, Zach, there is nothing we have. There is nothing we own. There is nothing we control. There is nothing we have as a country. The only thing that we have is our bodies to supply labor to foreigners. And our blueprint to creating 1.5 million jobs in the next 1 year is to do the following. Number one, we as Democratic Progressive Party will subsidize electricity, will subsidize fuel. There are people who have said, no, where are you going to get the money from? Where are you going to get the money from? First of all, the engine of an economy is fuel and electricity. Why the economy of Zambia is completely shut down now is because mtengo wa fuel ulipa mwamba maningi. So kamtengo ka basi, kamtengo ka renti, kamtengo ka vakudya, kamtengo ka transporti, vonse vaenda pa mwamba. These have a ripple effect. Number two, malaiti. Tenzo kuti mukagula 200 kwacha mwashansha yasira 30 days. But now 200 kwacha chamecha tipurumusa chabe nchakuti ati kusukumangala malaiti. So mukavaka 200 nango 3 months kai kulibe malaiti yabwera che 2 hours 3 hours per day. So now we don't have power and the cost of fuel is too high. The economy has come to a crunch. And this brings me to a point ya IMF. Kai IMF wana sign a deal na Zambian government and they have imposed austerity measures. So the Zambian government has continued to increase taxes on ordinary people. If you look at the statutory instruments that have been coming from the Ministry of Finance, all of them are about taxing ordinary Zambian people. They are not taxing foreign multinationals. They are taxing Bantu Vutika. That's where they're getting the money from. When I was doing my research in my thesis, I had to do a comparative study on China and America in terms of their political and economic influence on Zambia in the last 10 years. As I was doing research, one of the things that I had to do was to study the mining sector. So I got the names of all the mines that we have that are operating as in 2024, as in 2025, we have thousands of mines that are operating. Thousands of mines that are operating. Yet, ZRA has confirmed that less than 10 are paying tax. But do you know that if this station doesn't pay tax, if Antemba doesn't pay tax, ZRA babwira vala bakupoka license. But my foreigners, my conglomerates, all these companies, they have got a lot of tax backlogs, and ZRA is not moving on them. Mopani is one of them that have got huge in terms of tax to ZRA. ZRA is not moving on them. They are moving on vantu vosauka vavutika mtu mandemba vabwera kuvavalira. Just to open a company, what you are supposed to pay in terms of rates, banaweza kupasani vakanso vadiemo vazema vadiemo ava va pay as you earn va pension ava vamuvaitana ati vachani ava mapension va pay as you earn vamuna vatenga vantu va pay as you earn avantu vadiemo manapsa. Okay, so vadiemo vazema vadiemo napsa vadiemo vazedrai vadiemo. We don't believe that we need to overburden our small and medium enterprises. That's why for us as Democratic Progressive Party, 3 years after registering, first of all, every company, my companies yama youths, yonse na bazimai, the first 3 years, they will not be paying unnecessary taxes. They'll be given tax rebates, tax breaks, so they can grow. They only start paying tax in the 3rd year. The first 3 years, they will not pay tax because we have enough money from the mining sector, from the construction sector, from the telecommunication sector, from the wholesale and trading sector, that this government must be taxing. Imagine we are losing $4 billion. $4 billion. 12 months, yaenda $4 billion. If this government was prudent enough and provide the roadmap we have given them, they would close those loopholes and would be able to have these $4 billion US dollars. That's the money you inject in your economy. That's the money you use to subsidize fuel, to subsidize electricity, and that's the money that you use to give tax breaks to your medium and small scale industries. Bazaki ine kwa meni nkala tuma groceries tos tomate using amunyumba madam achita chilimba na bazaki, so banapanga vinking tuma tissue, tuma domestos, to cooking oil, to sopo, madamu achita chilimba na manzake. Village banking has become one of the most efficient and effective ways to raise resources and to help families. We as Democratic Progressive Party, we want to inject 1 billion kwacha in village banking because this is a sector that you can formalize and you can create banks and financial institutions, microfins. All you need is to sit down with these different groups of women and young people, formalize their village banking groups, and help them to inject the capital that they need. So the first year, we want to inject 1 billion kwacha because our aim is to have 5 banks, Zambian owned, Zambian code, by 2030. Why? It's because banking is one of the more lucrative business. So we have got 17 banks. Forget about Zambia commercial bank. There's nothing. That industrial bank, Zambia Industrial Bank, those are dead. That's a dead institution. Forget about NatSave. Those are dead institutions. But the only institutions that are working where Zambia has got shares is Zanaco, Tinama shares, Indo-Zambia Bank, Tinama shares between Zambia and India. The rest of the banks are either for South Africans or Nigerians. And all the money that you are using is being taken away. And it is used to develop South Africa and to develop Nigeria. Not only that, our people can't get a loan at a bank. They'll be asking for collateral, which you know. They'll be asking for all these things that nobody has. And yet, all the money that we're using, we bank with them. The money that they're making is going to South Africa, is going to India. Our focus is to have 5 Zambian-owned, Zambian-controlled banks by 2030. But also, if you look at the permutation in terms of penetration, 67% of the banks are in Lusaka and Copperbelt. So most of the rural areas don't have the banks. So we will give tax breaks to those banks that want to penetrate the rural areas. So we can use the concept of village banking and help our women, help our youths. These are practical things that are happening right now. Manyumba yatu ise tinkalira muli chirimba. Unounga metu kudya lero munyumba. Mdamu chirimba chabela chitabanzake. Ndiye vamene vatapasa kuunga. So these are practical Zambian solutions that you don't need to go to university, you don't need to go to college, you don't need to go to school to come up with these and support. If you look at why we don't have jobs, because could be my industries. Our IMF, when they came in 1989, 1973 was the first time that we had IMF deal. We have had 18 IMF deals. There is no progress that we have made as a country in terms of jobs and in terms of growing the economy. Nothing. All we have suffered is austerity measures. So IMF puts austerity measures on you. You remove subsidies on very critical engines of the economy, fuel and electricity.
Now, just on electricity,
Yes.
I mean, the fact that you intend to propose or bring back subsidy on electricity. On the other hand, this is a sector or subsector that is not highly invested by especially the private sector, who have the appetite to invest in electricity generation. And the reason tariffs have been increased is so that they can see value in investing in electricity generation. All along, it's been all about the fact that it's not as attractive getting into electricity generation because of low tariffs. This government has increased the tariffs, and the increase in tariffs has attracted private investment into the sector, which is good. And I think that that should be the direction. Why would you be taking us backwards with subsidies on electricity?
So I like that. So on face value, it makes a lot of sense. So we increase the tariffs and we attract investment.
Yeah.
What is the result that we have right now is 21 hours of loading. With high tariffs, we are producing 21 hours of load.
But there is investment coming in.
Yeah, which
it
no
may
one,
not be immediate to
which
sort out this
yeah,
problem.
So I'll come there, which
Yeah.
we are not benefiting. So one of the things that we have done as DPP is to make sure that our strength is on the human resource that we are working with. So we have sat with our expert consultants on matters of energy. And this is the rot that is going on at Zesco. As we are speaking right now, this power which they are supplying to Botswana and Namibia is being powered, distributed using independent power producers and independent middlemen traders, independent traders. They're using, they are trading. They have Zesco has contracted middlemen, and this is a scandal. Remember that the president was talking about removing middlemen in the fuel procurement. He accused that the fuel prices were too high because of the middlemen. Today, I challenged the president to tell the Zambian people why Zesco has contracted middlemen who are selling our electricity. They are the ones that are making money. And the country is not making the money. Why don't they invest in Zesco? You invest in Zesco, you increase its generation capacity, you also diversify and have an energy mix of solar, thermal, wind. And Zesco itself, why can't Zesco itself distribute that power so that the money goes directly to Zesco. Why has Zesco contracted middlemen? And who is paying the price? It's the Zambian people. So let's talk about high tariffs. They use a phrase, cost reflective. It sounds better. But who is paying the highest tariffs? It is the ordinary Zambians. The domestic consumers are the ones paying the highest tariff band. The commercial users are not paying a tariff that is as high as the domestic consumers. So the mines are using 60% of electricity, yet in terms of the tariff hike, they have a lower tariff hike than me on the street and me who comes from the compound. So again, who is being punished here with a high tariff? It's the local consumer. An ordinary Zambian is paying more than a mining firm, a giant mining firm, which is making billions of kwachas every year, is paying less in terms of the cost of the tariffs of electricity. So again, there's a mismatch. Foreign companies, foreign multinationals are paying lower, ordinary Zambians are paying higher. Private companies have been contracted to supply electricity. That money should come to Zesco. What we believe in as Democratic Progressive Party is that first, number one, we need to have a very clear energy mix. Solar, I want to make it very clear, solar is not the ultimate solution to our challenges. Because remember that solar depends on the sun. And there are times when we have rain season. There are times when you don't have enough sunlight. Even at homes, baja banakwanisa ogulako tuma solar, banagula futi tuma inverter, bachaja ka battery. And futi bachita rely pali Zesco to charge those inverters. So ultimately, hydropower must be taken very seriously as a driver of the primary source of electricity, because we have plenty of water across the country. And with the modern technology, we are able to invest money to bring modern technology that can use the water that we have and generate even more electricity with or without sufficient rainfall. There is modern technology that people are using today to generate electricity from water. This is why other countries that don't have the rivers that we have, don't have the falls that we have, are able to generate electricity 24/7 and they don't have load shedding. So for us, number one is there must be a deliberate investment in Zesco to increase its generation capacity. And also that will mean new technologies. The old technology that Zesco has is obsolete. Number two, Zesco must also invest in technology of storing electricity. Currently, Zesco has no technology to store electricity. So wakapanga malaiti wa Zesco, they can't keep it. They either have to distribute it to the people to use or export it if they have got excess, because they do not have the storage capacity. They don't have the modern technology. We, as Democratic Progressive Party, one of the things we want to invest in is the storage technology at Zesco. So Zesco will be able to produce electricity, store it. If we don't need that electricity for the moment, you store that power and you only use it. Number three, you go to Zesco, Zach, a lot of qualified engineers have been chased. They have lost jobs in the last 4 years. And this is a huge problem. And it's not only at Zesco. You go to ministries, government ministries, qualified, experienced Zambians have lost jobs. Others, their contracts have been terminated. Others have been told to go home. Bali kumanyumba, afola muntu, but aliche kunyumba such a report for work. and government is paying double. Ujali kunyumba amene sasebenza, and the person that you have given a job who is sitting in the office on behalf of that person. The loss of qualified engineers that have been sent home in the last 4 years has contributed to the malfunctioning of Zesco, to the incompetence at Zesco, to the inefficiency and ineffectiveness at Zesco. One of the immediate things that the president and his minister has to look at as an immediate issue is the issue of qualified engineers, qualified staff at Zesco who have been forced out of Zesco the last 4 years. We need those people back. They are Zambians, they are qualified, they are experienced, they are well-trained. We need them back to help run that Zesco, because that Zesco is done. There is nothing that is going on. That Zesco is done. It has now become a company that is being used to do trading, to give contracts to private companies to sell electricity on behalf of Zambia, and that money is going to private individuals. This is an urgent issue that government must look at. The loss of human resource, people that they have chased, people that are home today. Look, we strongly believe as Democratic Progressive Party that the civil service is the engine of government. And therefore, we should not politicize the civil service. We should not look at civil servants in any lens other than their level of competence. That's why in terms of recruitment, promotions, upgrades, transfers, under the Democratic Progressive Party, we shall use an appraisal system that is based on your performance. We will digitize all government operations. So we remove corruption. We remove middlemen. You don't need to know Vamutare for you to get your pension. You don't need to know Vazimba for you to get your driver's license. You don't need to know Vahambokoma for you to get Musongo. No, these government services must be digitized. We are in 2025 and not 2005. This is 2025. It's a digital era. So as a digital era, we need to digitize all government services and make sure that we remove the human contact, which is a source of corruption. So I want to make a passionate appeal as president of the Democratic Progressive Party to His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema and all his government ministers to look back at the issue of the Zambians that have been chased from ministries, that have been forced to go home, that are seated at home. They are on pay, but they are not working. Let us not politicize the civil service. We want merit and meritocracy. And all these Zambians, they add value. Let's use an appraisal system that is based on their performance. You keep them because of their performance. Don't chase them.
Let me take you to a very important sector, the health sector. I think that it has past governments, including this one, they seem to have really struggled in sorting out the problems around the health sector. The cancer hospital is something we are cherishing, that we have a cancer hospital, but the challenges that are being faced, they shouldn't be existing in this time and era. Issues to do with medicine. I know that in your launch you spoke about ZAMSA and the corruption that exists around that. I mean, bring us up to understanding of how the DPP intends to sort out the issue around the health sector.
Zach, I've said 80% of our workers are in the informal sector. Ukadwala nishibana kulibe kudya. The situation I'm at
even with Nima at their disposal.
I'm saying the situation is that ngatwadwala chabe nishibana kulibe kudya. So health is of a primary importance, because a health nation is a developed nation. And therefore, for us as DPP, number one issue is that the investment in health must be increased. So we are not going to allow what is happening right now. If you look at the investment, they have been putting less than 15% of the national budget has been going to health. I know that Stumbe Komsokotwane will be presenting a budget in September, if I'm not mistaken. But if you look at the allocations in terms of health, they have been very minimal. So under the DPP, allocation to health will be 20% of the national budget. Why? It's because we have a shortfall of human resource, and we have a shortfall of hospitals and clinics. If you look at the ratios that we have today in terms of health, you find that one doctor is dealing with 10,000 patients. One doctor currently is dealing with 10,000 patients. That is not attainable, it's not effective, and that's not the way to go. So number one, under Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, health will get not less than 20% of the national budget. Our goal is to increase access to essential medicines and healthcare services. Our goal is to ensure availability of skilled health professionals with equitable distribution between rural areas and urban areas. Our goal is to improve the quality of healthcare services through infrastructure, modernization, technology, and the regulation. But also we shall guarantee financial protection for all Zambians through universal health coverage called NIMA. Now, I have a colleague of mine who's got a young son who's got a condition. And he's told me that mukaenda ku hospital isewapa NIMA, even attitude imasiyanako nabaja bamene balipira cash. Bamene balipira cash bapasako ulemu, bankala number 1 kubamverera, nobachita attend to. Isewapa NIMA. So 3 weeks ago, I went to the hospital, one of the hospitals that we have. And this doctor, very experienced health practitioner, told me that government is only giving 150 kwacha per patient is allocated to NIMA. 150 kwacha per patient. Penny V ni 45 kwacha. Azithromycin ni 45 kwacha. Panadol 20 kwacha. And government is only allocating 150 kwacha to a patient. So Ananu was that because government is only giving 150 kwacha per patient, it's as private suppliers of health. We can't afford to subsidize for you people. That's why mukabwera kuno ku hospital pankhani ya NIMA tizakulemberani ka paper ka prescription mankhwala. Ngati akupasa ngoni mankhwala tizachekinga. Vakakulembera prescription to the pharmacy at any government facility. The first thing that they will do, they will look pali kachaka prescription. The medicines that are cheap, munga tuma Panadol bazakupasa. Tuma Penivito mafote kwacha bazakupasa. If there is any medicine, for instance, issues to do with the cough mixtures, these things that cost 100 kwacha, 150, 80 kwacha, so bazakupasa bakulembera prescription. Because government is only allocating 150 kwacha per patient. So Vananuza doctor, what the things that government should do first of all is to look at the Nkongole, which they have, with the private suppliers, Bakunima. They need to first deal with the financial burden in terms of the debt, in terms of the liability, in terms of the unpaid that government has with the private suppliers of NIMA. And these are not things that we are talking about that we will do when we come. We are saying now, President Hakainde Sami Hichilema and his government must pay all these liabilities ya NIMA so that people are able to access medicines. Number 2, government must increase the allocation to NIMA, at least from 150 kwacha to 500 kwacha per patient. That way you know that almost all the drugs, in case somebody is sick and they go to hospital, they'll be covered. So allocation at 150 kwacha per patient is too low. It can't work. We have 35% of the population on NIMA. 35%. We are leaving about 60% of people that are not on NIMA Some of them, about 15 to 25%, are able to pay using their own money. This is a very small fraction. The majority of the Zambian people have no access. The challenges we have found with NEMA when we are doing an analysis and meeting the health practitioners, because what we do ourselves is to deal with the people in the industry. We don't make these policies or these manifestos based on what we think in our heads. No, we have sat down with the medical professionals, we have sat down with clinics, and they have told us that these are the problems that are there. One, delayed payments from government. Boma ikango kuchosa ndalama on time. So there were these private suppliers. These are the things that they need to do now. They shouldn't wait for us to take over government to do. Government must make sure that they pay on time. Number two problem has been that contributions are consistently very low, threatening the financial stability of NEMA because of the money. So if you got 1% of your 2,000 kwacha, imamnenda kumaskulu kan 20 kwacha isivizona machani stivizio. That should be 20 kwacha. Then there's also low enrollment in the informal sector. There's been weak penetration, especially to people in the rural areas. Government has not taken a deliberate policy to reach out and sensitize our communities. What we propose as Democratic Progressive Party, and we want these things to be done today. We don't want them to be done when we form government because people are suffering now and they can't wait for us to take over government. No, these things must be done now. And if the UPND do these things, they will help the people. These are the things that we want to propose to UPND today. And I hope that they're listening to this program. And I want them to take note of these and see how they can use this to help the Zambian people. Number one, they must publish monthly stock levels of essential medicines broken down by province. So we know which has got these drugs, which province doesn't have these drugs. If you just go back to the census report and the living status of the Zambian people that was done in 2022, it will tell you matenda mneyavuta maningi marural areas, number one in malaria. And it will tell you province by province, province prone kuli malaria, province prone kuli cholera, province prone kuli diarrhea diseases. And government must use that data to know which province must be given what medicines. So we are asking this government that they also have to publish every month. They need to know which provinces have got medicines and which medicines are available and which medicines are on demand. You have seen that not so long ago, government said that they were destroying medicines that had been expired. And yet in hospitals kulibe mankwala, but boma ina mankwala yanaola yanaonongeka bayataya. Why is it so? These are possibilities. Number one, banagula mankwala yo cheaper, yamene shelf life very short, so it was the discounted price because baliberera okuliyamo. So instead of getting mankwala yamene na long shelf life, baenda kuma pharmacies, baenda negotiate na mankwala yana ka short span because expiry date near, badiamo bayagula ja mankwala bakalibochita distribute mankwala ya ola haya. Meanwhile, people don't have medicines in hospitals. So that is a problem. Number two, and this is very important, Bazaki. Number two is because they are not doing updated assessments and research to know which drugs are needed in which areas, which diseases are prone in which areas, so that you know the levels of drugs and the types of drugs to buy. Number two, we are asking the government to develop an SMS-based system where citizens can check medicine availability at their nearest facility. We need to know even before you go to the hospital that aya matenda aya mankwala sumza peza pakalingalinga clinic. There is no need mwatenga patient adwala mwamchosa kuchainda pereka ukalingalinga clinic omne kulibe mankwala bakuzani futa pano palibe mankwala endani ku UTH. Mufika ku UTH bakuzana tukulibe mankwala bakulemberani ka prescription yendani pa pharmacy mu mankwala. If people are aware of which medicines are in stock and which medicines are in short supply, they will know that here we can't go this side because we have a problem. And this brings us to the issue of ZAMSA. The scandals at ZAMSA, it's unbelievable that, first of all, we didn't know about these scandals until the American embassy, through their ambassador, Gonzalez, raised the issue that Zambian medicines is being stolen. The government tried to play it down. They tried to deny. They tried to wrap that story under the carpet, but the ambassador and his team were relentless. And we want to thank the American ambassador. We want to thank all our cooperating partners for raising the flag, because this government doesn't care. And for as long as they are eating well, they are protected, they have got full medical schemes, they didn't care medicines are being stolen at ZAMSA, because we've some in them hospitals there, Bakadwala, South Africa. That scandal and the audit that has been done has been kept as a secret. We don't believe that an audit of a public institution such as ZAMSA must be kept as a private issue. I know they have said for investigative reasons. No. We demand that the forensic audit that has been done at ZAMSA must be released to the public. It must be released to Parliament. And the Parliament, as the People's Assembly, and parliamentarians as the people's voices, must scrutinize this audit at ZAMSA. The release must be done now. You cannot be stealing people's medicines and you are saying the audit is going to be kept as a secret. No, we demand that government must release that audit to the public and to Parliament. And we demand that everybody that has been named in that public audit, which they are keeping secret, must be prosecuted. And those that are found guilty must be taken on and must be jailed, because the issue of medicine is the issue of life. So it is the approach of this government to shield corruption that is a problem. I heard the Minister of Information, my very good brother, Cornelius Mwetwa. He has issued two statements. One statement, he was challenging the Anti-Corruption Commission to name the ministers that are being investigated. 2 days ago, he issued a statement where he said they are, as ministers, they are already on the queue of being investigated and being questioned. The Anti-Corruption Commission has said they have got ministers who are being investigated, but they don't want to name them. No, that is unacceptable. We demand that all those cabinet ministers who are being investigated by the Anti-Corruption Commission must be named and must be shamed. There is no way that if it is an opposition leader, you don't keep it as a secret. You parade them, you charge them, you even hold press briefings to name them and take them to court. But sitting cabinet ministers, they are being shielded. This challenge goes to President Hakainde Sami Hichilema, because this is a pledge he made to the Zambian people, that he shall not shield any criminal ministers. He said that he shall not allow anybody to operate in his government criminal issues. Why is that? Defending and protecting ministers that are being investigated? Is the president not suspending these ministers that are being investigated? Why is he not giving them leave of absence so that the Election Commission, the Drug Enforcement Commission, and all other relevant investigative wings of the state can do their investigations really independently and competently without any interference of these ministers? I can't believe that in 2025, President Hakainde Hichilema is shielding the names of ministers that are being investigated. This is unacceptable. We demand that those ministers must be named and that those ministers must be put on leave and that they must be answerable to the people of Zambia. This issue of only parading parading opposition and you're shielding your own people will not work. Remember that Zambians are now open. Zambians demand accountability, not only on the opposition, but on everybody. And this brings me to very important and key issues. The state of finance. Today, Bazak, as I'm on this radio station, the government systems going line by line of everything that I'm saying, looking for anything that they can use to charge me for sedition, looking for anything they can use to charge me for cybercrime. Because there is a deliberate ploy by the UPND government to run the 2026 elections without opposition. And there's a deliberate ploy to lock everybody from the opposition so that in 2026 they have a race where President Hakainde Hichilema won alone without a strong opposition leader that can challenge him. They are aware the ground is gone. He got about 52% of the votes in Lusaka and 56% in the Copper Belt. He can't get those votes. The ground is gone. The challenges people are facing today, they don't want to hear anything about UPND. They are done. The people of Zambia have been silenced. If you go to social media, today people are failing to comment. Bayopa, Wakambat, nilibe lawyer. But look at the deliberate strategy which UPND is employing. Here on A5 FM thread, on all these radio stations appearing, Katete FM, Spice FM, Platinum FM, iWave, Tuta, and Muchinga Radio, they have deployed their praise singers to shout, to malign anyone who is speaking against this government. But that will not work because we have seen it before. You pay people to have multiple accounts, Facebook accounts, and when Antonio Mwanza posts something or Antonio Mwanza is live on radio, you go on his page, insult. Those things don't work because the majority of the Zambians that have decided to keep quiet and watching are the ones that are going to speak during that day of voting. People are afraid to speak in their own country using this cyber crime and security law. And it's a shame. It's a shame that President Hakainde Sami Hichilema condemned the cybersecurity law. He condemned the cybersecurity law. And in fact, he made a commitment to the people of Zambia. It's on video. He made a commitment to the people of Zambia that he will scrap off the cybersecurity law. But what has he done? He has strengthened it even further. And today, people are scared in their own country. Every day, they have lined up and they have said, we will make sure that by 2026, could be opposition as a leader. Some of us are here, and we've made a very conscious decision to speak for the people of Zambia, to fight for the people of Zambia, because this country belongs to all of us. And our message to those in government is that there's no way they can stop people from talking, because them won elections, they were able to talk. They should be magnanimous enough to allow others to criticize them. They should be magnanimous enough to accept divergent views, to be tolerant to divergent views. This appetite which they have, I've heard the president say, you hate me. Manawasa proposed constitutional amendments. This Halabalu, Rupia Banda proposed constitutional amendments. You didn't oppose him in such a fashion. You have opposed, you hate me. There's no one who hates you. The issue of running the state, the job you have as head of state, has nothing to do with love. It's not a love affair. No. It's an issue of the state. And the people of Zambia have rejected your Bill 7. You just have to that. Your people of Zambia have rejected your land policy bill. You have to accept that. The people of Zambia have rejected your limitation program. You have to accept that. The only role you have as a president is to listen to the people, provide the leadership, and do your work. So it's not a love affair that they hate me. We don't hate you, Mr. President. You are a Zambian. We love you as a Zambian. But we don't like what you are doing to this country. We don't like the shed us in. We don't like the hunger you have put us in. We don't like the joblessness you have put us in. We don't like the poverty you have put us in. We don't like the lies and the false promises that you have given us. Those are the things we hate, Mr. President.
Let me take
Not
phone
you.
calls. Let me take
Tikuko
phone calls.
ndani, imwe tiko ndani, but ngachito zanu vichitide vanu akainde siviri bwino.
Let me take photos. Our guest this morning is Antonio Mwanza. He is president of the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, a party that was officially launched yesterday. And we obviously invited him to just understand the deep sense of what the DPP has, or the deep offers for the Zambian citizens. Because come 2026, we know that the DPP will be on the ballot, but then we are seeking for alternatives, and that is what we are discussing here in as far as the Thursday edition of the burning issue is concerned. Let me take phone calls. Well, we lost that one, but please call us back. The number you're calling us on is 0955-221515, and we'll also be looking at your comments on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia. Make sure you send us something. Let me take this call. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Zach.
Okay, please share your name and where you're calling us from. I'm okay. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Mr. Ngoni Douglas from Chiwempala, Chingola. I'm Mourinho,
Mr. Ngoni Douglas from Chiwempala, Chingola.
Nikucheko Antonio, Muritiadi Antonio.
Tiri bwino muri bwanji ba
Na vera bwino kumuona Antonio. Where is Mourinho? Mourinho. You've done well to come back on scene.
Thank you.
Antonio, mukamba chachende amdara. Tasauka ise bantu. I'm waiting you to be one united. Work with every well-meaning opposition leader in Zambia. We want to get rid of these people. Tapudika. I'll give you an example, Antonio. We have got a crisis here in Chingola. Anyone at the market say, people they will be a million. It has been a trend where in the whole country. Why is it like this? The two ministers are quarreling in the public, and the president is quiet. He's very into He cannot crack his whip. In my own thinking, the president is inciting people of Chingola to riot because of illegal mining. The president has said no illegal mining. One minister, Chukwukamulenga, says go and mine. Then you call mines minister says stop mining. People rise. And who's to blame? The president. The president, he likes himself so much. He wants to accumulate everything to himself. He wants to own all the mines. His family has got mines. He's got everything on his hands. Why should he have everything on his hands? Anyway, you are there to help us. Bye.
Thank you, Sangoni. All the way from Chiwempala in Chingola. We are grateful for your contribution on 0955-221515. That's the number you're calling us on. Good morning.
Good morning, Zach.
How are you today?
I'm fine, and how are you?
Fine.
Sir, how are you?
Share your name and where you're calling us from?
You are talking to Msonda Vincent in Kabwe.
Msonda Vincent Mukabwe.
Kabwe.
Yes, please, Mr. Msonda.
Mwanza wetu.
Msonda mlishani.
Wino shani.
Mwemparume.
Awe, tulizie wino mwapyashi. Lesare vipada.
Amen.
Amen. Antonio Mwanza mulondora buno sana bapresident. Namulanda buno sana. Amazi basi mwapera banesaba kuno kuyomfwa. Abomfwa. Mwalanda rero mwera ndapofi. Ndakire bipirako. Otherwise, amateka ndibaragize murabera abantu aba. Abayamona ati. Kwenye nazare mipada. Wena nokumulondora buno sana ushumfwa autakomfwe. Kozitakwaba mwandi nati tuli mu bukyushi ba president abantu batirika mu bwasi. I'm telling you. Pano pansi napakava ati regretting yana regretting neta tupampie bayusi ndiwe apanomba tuna apana kiskamens na apana tumona kwena na tumona tire bamwa byashu betu koseni urwendo mwambo koseni and we are behind you. We are behind your back, don't worry. We are Zambian people, they are behind your back. We are with you, sir, to watch you learn. Now, cost of living, Aren Sarabari Terava. No Museva, Namanda, if you pronounce it for my hand, I never would die. When you are using separation and for Chuli, and we want first in it up. That you have not full Maronat, Pilla. I would say, Gaja 05 Kueda, who were 24. Not to choose and I would choose to attempt by UPN. We are behind you, Mwanza with you. We are behind you, sir.
Thank you, Ramsanda. Thank you very much for your contribution. Let's see if we can take some more on 0955221515. We do have another one. Good morning.
Good morning, Zach. How are you today,
my brother? Not too bad, brother. Chisha, welcome.
Thank you so much. How are you today, Zach?
Oh, thank you. And how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Brother Chisha, it's always a pleasure to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I like the way you are explaining issues. You know, this colleague of ours, they are saying there's no opposition in Zambia. One thing they are forgetting is that the Zambians are the major opposition to them. Because I don't think, President Mwanza, you can try to buy a bag of Mourinho yourself. I don't think you can try to send your child to school. I'm talking about nice school, not this free education, bogus kind of arrangement, whereby our children becoming band-aids because of poor kind of free education UPN is providing. For you to form a political party, to visit a radio station, you are doing it for in behalf of Zambians. And if they are thinking they don't have opposition in Zambia, let them wait and see. Because Zambians are it's not about a political party, it's about Zambians who are suffering. You know, we have a problem with this government. Even just in terms of communication, it's a problem. You find that you have a spokesperson of government in June. A load shedding will be a thing of the past. 2 days later, you hear a minister comes and tell you to say, no, we are going to have load shedding up to 2026. Whom are we going to trust with? When they speak, you even feel to say, yes, the minister is speaking. It is on the very radio station where you are, Mr. President, where Mr. Chipoka Mlenga was a guest. And he was telling us to say, no, I'm going to speak to these people who are manufacturing sugar and cooking oil. We want things to come down. How much the 2 kg sugar today? When you challenge them, the answer will be, no, you are opposing, you are bitter, you are what? I'm just here to encourage you, Mr. President, to continue speaking for Zambians who are suffering. Because the suffering is on the ground, and the people are feeling it. If they can't listen to what we are telling them, don't worry. Zambians are able to see what is happening on the ground. Thank you so much for following the program.
Thank you, Brother Chicha, for your comments. Let me give you a few from Facebook and respond. Just make sure you respond as quickly as possible. We have Owen, who says, I love your vision. Continue. We'll support you. You just need the right people who will support your vision. The current president had a good vision for Zambia, but unfortunately, the team he has let him down, plus implementing poor policies. Teamwork makes dream work. All the best. This is Owen from Kabanana Site and Service. There's Liche on Facebook who says, where were these ideas when he was part of government? Politicians for you. Well, let me give you an opportunity to react. If you can be as brief as possible on each one of those.
I'll be very brief.
Right.
First of all, thanks a lot. Banguni, va Vincent Kukawe, va brother Chisha, va Owen Valiche, twatotela mkwai. Yes, Banguni. Twalaombera chapamo, ichi chipani, chawonse. DPP is for everybody. Chawonse. Everyone who doesn't agree with what is going on today. Uli wonso ule chula fienga, uli UPND, uli PF, as long ule chula, as long we are suffering, this is your party. Illegal mining, mwa ukishaba nguni, that va president wesu, va haka inde samichilema. Vala ile abanensu kumigoduko kuchingola, that ngaba wina, wakapera wonse majilabo ama license. He had a meeting with the Jerabos at his house. Today, takuli ukupera abantu besu misepera shakopa belt ama license. Abantu n'abachula bayingira mu mpanga balefa okusenda godi because n'abamona ati ma foreigners balesenda godi mwaya mkulishe mfuti at illegal mining. End this illegal mining by doing the following things, Mr. President. Number 1, perena ma license ama youth besu. Perena ma license. Mwa kolonganye, mwa peramas. Number 2, invest in equipment. Mwa perama equipment. Tuma god detecting equipment. Tuma equipment if you too no. Utu achipa no kuchipa uku imbod because god yali pusana na kopa. Bapere equipment. Bapere ni ama loan kuma bank. Imisepela. Shikwate kutuma company. This is what any caring government should do. 3 things. Give them licenses, give them equipment, give them capital. Va Vincent Kukawe, awe, abanensu awa, to siwamvera kuli advice. As far as they are concerned, they know everything. They are the most intelligent, they are the brightest, and all of us are down. In fact, those of us that don't agree with them, we hate them. That's their thinking. How narcissistic. Tabonfwa ku advice. Tabonfwa. Neba chimbwi mshololwa. Tabonfwa ku advice. Panshina pakaba. Wakose. Abantu bale chula. Abantu bale chuchitika. Brother Chisha, on point. Now, I like the fact that you've raised the issue of and the issue of the quality of education they are giving to our children. Brother Chisha, in certain schools, this government is giving 20p as grant. Tamuli ama books, tamuli choko, tamuli firifionse maskuru. They have even introduced a new curriculum and they don't even have books for the new curriculum. Communication yena na abalubana. And chachine. Umunandi, my brother, my comrade, my colleague, Cornelius Mwetwa, had a press briefing. Nembuya wali ba Elvis Nkando. Cornelius Mwetwa alilandire. Ati mwebena Zambia, mu Juni nishi hapo road shedding. Tuli September, lero ni 2 hours malaiti, 22 hours tamkweta malaiti. Bakateka, inde Sami Ichilema. Abene bakateka besu. Balipangire na press briefing, ukuirumba, ukuitasha, ukuimia, ukuitukumuna. Ni mpuisha load shedding, muli 1 year. Lero tata tule chula, tatukweta malaiti. Ba minister, ba malaiti, ba makozo, balilandire pamulabasa. Atabaishiba, insta load shedding ikapwa. Ba Oweni, na tumfwa, we need everybody. We need you, we need everybody. Baliche, inenshaba po government. Therefore, mkotupeleko chance, tukameko government, tukawamie ichalo, tuwatotela mkwai.
We'll take some more on 0955221515. Good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. Please share your name and where you're calling us.
Mlamu Kabwazi Antonio Mwanza.
Tauka, is that Bamlamu?
Pachikala Mwanza.
Muri chavebu ino Mlamu?
Tauka, you are talking to Comrade Chilonda of Saka.
Yes, Mr. Chilonda, please go ahead.
You are Mourinho. I wish somebody might have a Mwanza. Yeah. Your form by Zambia in 1991 formed as a multi-party democracy. We are democratic indeed. Anybody can form a political party, but what we can kifuna kuchinziana. Who is the best to the people? But what we want is people of Zambia. And to win part of the people of Zambia, when you go and come, that's what your message. And people of Zambia should hear the message. Who is the best? What is the point? What they want is to fight poverty. People of Zambia, what they want is to fight. Makarido ya bwino, kudya mzede, vintu vachipa, jefane bafunako, bamukomboni, mafama, bamizi, to make it easier. Kuchepesa kwa mpawi. That's what they want. So, kuwina mitima y'abantu bawuza mitima yene kabula ndakita so we were met mfate po maybe bintu zakala ko bwino kwa America bavota mukambatize big economy ku China bamavota so chamene tima votera naise timafuna kuti mupatetele ko wa bwino kapela bintu visinteko ikale ko na easy life bana batu bakako nchito ifati kuleko chintu cha bwino economy isebenze bwino ikale bwino economy yakala bwino nje kuchitikula unga ochipa tikula fio ochipa ndika nafuna ko mbuto ochipa mafama alinde so ndera mlamu kitiriza.
We'll take some more on 0955221515. That's the number you're calling us on. Our guest is Mr. Antonio Mwanza. He is president of the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP. Good morning.
Good morning, Bwana Zaki.
How is Kampumba?
Kampumba is okay. How is Lusaka?
Lusaka is fine. It has a new party.
Oh, with a new president.
Indeed.
President Antonio Mwanza Mourinho. Good morning.
Morning.
Wonderful. We are together. Brother Namanda here, Antonio Mwanza. It has been long.
Brother Namanda, it's been long. Tinakamba tizakumana, maisitu kumana. Tikazikumana, osa tikazikumana chekumaliro. Chalo chinchatu tose.
Nizona, osa kumana chazo kumaliro.
Kambani, please go ahead.
Yeah.
No problem. Antonio Mwanza, you spoke about mining. I think you need to be realistic there. Because just 48 hours ago, the president had a meeting where he categorically stated that artisanal licenses should be given to Zambians. Kikonge is for Zambians. And if you Zambians who have got that mentality of selling licenses to the foreigners, you will not tolerate it. Meaning the president wants all mining companies to be in the hands of the Zambian people. That's the wish of the president, the love for the people of Zambia. Now for you to say no, mine belongs to the foreigners, I don't know what you're talking about. Because when you were there as chief, you left these foreigners. Why didn't you empower? Why didn't you advise the government you belong to give these mines to the Zambian people? You never did that. The issue of medicines in hospitals. This time around, we want to hear people complaining about medicines. Medicines are very much valuable, especially basic medicines. They are there in the hospitals. Almost 95%